Welcome back to Apex Alchemy. Today, getting by preparedness sent us a blade out of a Gordon Multitool. Looks similar to this. If I could fit this in an envelope, this is going to be going back to him. I'm probably going to be going back to him regardless. I don't really have a use for it, and I think he's a fan of the knife portion of it. Hey, bro, getting by preparedness posted a video. I will have his channel linked in the description and possibly even the title. But he posted a video about his jaws on his pliers, like breaking, doing some minuscule tasks. But he feels like his knife, his blade, may be a little harder than mine. I think mine tested at 56. I can't remember. The video is posted. These numbers really aren't that important to me, and I'm going to go into that at the end of this video. You know what? Let's go into it now while I'm going to check the Rockwell. It's been about a week since I've tested the Rockwell on anything. So this is a 63 HRC block, and you should know it is tested often, but I think there's a variance of about a point on this block. So like, even if my machine is reading 63, there's a possibility, a good possibility, that we may still be off a point. And then the machine itself has about a 2.5 point variance. And that's pretty good because there's a lot of machines out there that have a much worse, like 5, points. And even the block. There's blocks out there that are 5 point variance. So that's a 10 point variance altogether. And today, in these times, man, the community has reached a point where we are demanding a micrometer, a finely tuned Starrett micrometer. But what we have to work with is a pair of Harbor Freight calipers, meaning that our demands for Rockwell, we're getting to the point where we're complaining about a 0.5 point. If let's say the Conway Padre, when we tested that knife, that's at 63. We're dead on the money as far as we know. I tested at 59.5, something like that, 59 to 59.5, and I believe the manufacturer says it's supposed to be 60 to 61. Now, on a different machine, it may be, and that's the thing, is you'll see a lot of people testing knives with different machines, and even if you had 10 of these machines and 10 of these blocks, you may still get a number of different end results because the technology hasn't gone far enough for Rockwell tests to be an industry standard that we can depend on. And there are other methods of testing Rockwell. I mean, not Rockwell, but testing the hardness of the steel. So Rockwell is a specific type of test. I went over. Give me 1 second. We're staying out of this track. We'll test it at the Tang. That's somewhere we did not test it on my multi-tool because I didn't take it apart. Where was I at? What was I getting at? There's 3 different methods of testing the Rockwell, the hardness of a metal, and in the knife community we use Rockwell because it's pretty standard and it's cheaper. So I'm getting a 55 there. So that is right outside the track. Well, I mean, my track is that's where the bearing rides. And it'd be hard to test it behind it, as you can see. We'll flip it over and we'll test it on the other side as well. But we'll test it north of the detent. We use Rockwell as a community standard, and it is the least accurate metal hardness testing method that you can depend on. Now, there's a lot of debate as to whether it's worth, like, well, there's really not a lot of a debate. There should be a lot of debate whether we should use some sort of other system or not. But unfortunately, it's just the test that we're all familiar with. It's the number that we trust the most. However, in our community, we have just gotten to the point where if things are within a half a point, sometimes up to a point and a half outside of what we expected, we throw a fit about it. I don't personally; these numbers don't mean as much to me as they mean to some of you. That's not why I do these. I don't do these to prove whether a company is lying or not. I'm doing it because I have access to the machine, and I felt like it might be information that some of you might be interested in. But that doesn't make the test any more accurate. And if you see somebody using an electric machine that's digital, it's got even higher variances and tolerances that aren't as reliable as analog. And if it's a portable device, it's even more so. Like, so, some of the greatest knife makers on the planet, like Grimsmo Norseman, uses a Ames portable Rockwell tester in their shop. That machine is roughly $5,000. But if you look up the specs and its tolerances to how accurate it's supposed to be, it's not very impressive for $5,000 if you ask me. So anyway, that's just kind of like I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone, because we can get numbers all day long, but there's variances. There's all kinds of variables, and if you're still listening at this point, like if this, I've went over this before, but this block, like when we test this block, if it is not 70 degrees, if the room that we're using this machine in is not 70 degrees, so if this is a 60-degree block and this is in a room at 65 degrees, and I'm talking about Fahrenheit, the machine is not going to read an accurate number. It may only be off a half a point, but that is enough nowadays where it could cause a ruckus. And the thing is, man, there's nobody that can prove it right or wrong. Not me, not anybody else. No doctor, no hobbyist on the planet. The craziest, the thing that makes me shake my head the most in this community is when I see somebody saying, I tested mine, it was 62.7. Like, fuck off. Respectively. There's absolutely, I don't care how many times you poke it. You could poke it 10 times if you want to and gain an average. That's fine. And it's respectful. You're doing all you can. But please keep in mind that each one of those pokes could have been inaccurate. It could have, all the variables still have, take place. So there's a good possibility that not a single one of the numbers that you received from your test was accurate. If you go into it knowing that your machine has a 2.5 point variance, and I'm expecting a 62, 63 Magna Cut, and what I wind up with is a 59.5, I don't make a deal out of it, because that could still be within variance, just because of the machine. And I've got one of the tightest machines on the market. So it's not the most expensive machine. You can spend a lot of money. You can spend a lot more money to get a floor model that's not a bench top Rockwell tester. And the thing is the variables are sometimes even greater. So I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Thanks for sending this in. Get it back in the mail to you. I'm going to send you this other Gordon as well, because I believe you enjoy the tool more than me, and you can have it and do whatever you want to with it. If you're not subscribed to him, if you haven't watched his videos, he doesn't have a lot of knife videos as of yet, but if you pay him a visit, tell him we sent you, and you guys have a good one. We'll catch you on the flip side.